First of all, we will see the meaning of balance of payment. What is the meaning of balance of payment? Actually, balance of payment is a statement which keeps all records of economic transactions that take place between one country and the rest of the world during a given period of time. स्टूडेंट्स, सबसे पहले आप ये जान लीजिए कि बीओपी क्या है और बीओपी में हम क्या क्या पढ़ने वाले हैं. तो एक हम पिक्चर बना रहे हैं जिसके थ्रू आप समझ सकते हैं. जस्ट ट्राई टू मेक योर कॉन्सेप्ट. इट इज बीओपी विच states about the annual transactions of goods and services between one country and other countries. Now it has two parts. When you categorize it scientifically, you can categorize it in two parts: current account BOP and on capital account. Okay, current account again can be categorized in two parts, not only two parts, in three parts: visible account or visible, non-visible account, and third one is unilateral transactions. Unilateral transactions. Visible accounts means we all can see by our open eye. Such transactions we can see by our open eyes. It includes basically the goods, transaction of goods, and non-visible items. Basically you have to include in this the services, all services which we can't able to see by our open eye. And third component under current account of BOP is unilateral transactions. All unilateral transactions, एक तरफा जो लेन देन होते हैं वो यूनिलैटरल ट्रांजैक्शंस कहे जाते हैं, एक पक्षीय ट्रांजैक्शंस. तो इन तीनों को मिला के विजिबल आइटम्स, नॉन विजिबल आइटम्स, unilateral transactions, when you will combine all three you will have BOP on current account, this part. Okay, because visible items includes only good transaction of goods and invisible items includes only services. So separately you can say this is the BOP on goods account, BOP on goods and service account, and BOP on current account when you add unilateral transactions in this. Okay, now another concept which you have to clear here, that is BOT, balance of trade. There is difference between balance of payment and balance of trade. Later on we'll see in detail, but here you should clear in your mind by picture. It includes only goods, transaction of goods. Balance of trade, when you are considering about the value of export of goods and value of import of goods, that is called the BOT. So BOP is comprehensive concept and BOT is quite narrow concept, which includes only the goods account. Okay, and all other long-term financial transactions, whatever it will take place between countries, it will come under the capital account. Loan, grant, debt, or FII, foreign institutional investment, all these things will come under the capital account of BOP. So let's move towards the another slide, that is balance of trade. Already I have told you that it includes only the transactions of goods. So it is a balance on visible account only. You can read it and make your understanding more better. Now symbolically how you can show the BOT, balance of trade, value of export VX minus value of import. If you want to solve the numerical, you can solve. If it is given, if value of export is 250 crore and value of import is 200 crore, simply you can get the balance of trade. It will be 50 crore. There should not be any problem in this. Now, another example here given. If a country's BOT is minus 50 crore and value of import of goods is rupees 100 crore, how much will be the value of exports of goods? It can be find by this formula only. BOT is equal to Vx minus Vm. You have to put the values, you will have the value of export. There should not be any problem. Now, types of balance of trade. Students, be careful. Here we are talking only about the BOT, not BOP. BOT may be in your favor, may be in against of your country, unfavorable BOT, and third, it may be balanced. In the situation where exports of goods is greater than imports of goods, it will be favorable BOT. If value of exports of goods lesser than value of import of goods, you can say it is unfavorable BOT for your country, for your economy. And third situation where both will be equal, that will be good situation, but it is ideological situation. Now again come on balance of payments. Balance of payments refers to a systematic record of all economic transactions. BOT includes only the transaction of goods, but here balance of payment includes all economic transactions that take place between one country and the rest of the world during a given period of time. Already we have discussed about it. Now, what are the features of balance of payment? Which thing we have to include in this BOP? First feature or characteristics you can mention here, systematic record. It is a systematic record. You can't deny, you can't keep any record in very non-systematic manner. You have to keep all records, international transactions, in very systematic manner. That will be the part of balance of payment. Now, fixed period of time must be there, usually 1 year. And third is comprehensiveness. It includes all the three items, namely visible, invisible, capital transfers, etc. Now, fourth feature of this balance of payment is double entry system. Receipts and payments are recorded on the basis of double entry system. That's why balance of payment in accounting sense always balanced. In your Viva, this question may emerge that why balance of payment always balanced? Then your answer will be due to double bookkeeping system. Okay, that's why it will be self-balanced. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Transactions in BOP. Generally, what type of transactions we should include in this BOP? Number one, goods and services account. Number two, unilateral transactions. Number three, long-term capital account, short-term capital account, and short-term official capital account. So it includes all visible, invisible, capital transfer, all things. A very simple and very important question which you should remember always, that is difference between BOT and BOP. What is difference between BOT and BOP? Balance of trade and balance of payment. Many times the CBSE has asked about this question, so be careful. Mark here as VVIMP, very important, as you usually do. BOT, trade of goods only. Under BOT we have to consider the transaction of only goods, and BOP, goods and services both. Here number two difference is you can see, does not record capital transfers, but it does. BOP does. Number three, it is part of current account of BOP, and this is the part of capital account of BOP, all included in this. This BOP is comprehensive approach. And last difference which you can make in point manner, that is BOT is favorable, exports of goods are more than imports of goods, and vice versa. Here it may be favorable if overall balance of current account and capital account is positive. Okay, so this is very important question, students. Please remember it. Now next slide. Balance of payments recording is in two accounts, current account and capital account. Already we have discussed. Generally all short-term transactions, visible, invisible, unilateral, will be included under current account. And one main thing which you have to see here, balance of payments on current account may be both balanced or unbalanced. In the sense of deficit or surplus, no problem in this. Disequilibrium of the balance of payments on current account is usually balanced by the medium of capital account. Students हमेशा ध्यान रखिएगा, आप जैसे बैलेंस शीट बनाते हैं तो आप हमेशा बैलेंस दिखाते हैं, वैसे बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट भी बैलेंस ही दिखता है ऑन अकाउंटिंग सेंस, not in operational sense. We'll discuss later what is difference between balance of payment in accounting sense and operational sense. So here if you have a deficit situation in current account, from where you have to fulfill it, कहाँ से आप उसको दूर करेंगे? कैपिटल अकाउंट से. If capital account in your in deficit, you have to compensate it from current account. So balance of payment on current account is equal to visible plus invisible exports minus visible plus invisible imports. Okay. Now capital account separately you can discuss. It refers to the financial transactions. Basically you have to remember some example of items which you may include under the capital account, because many times CBSE ask the question on it. All kinds of short-term and long-term international capital transfers. Number 1, movement of gold. Number 3, payments or private account. On, it will be on, not or, on private account. Next, payments and receipts on international institutional account and government loans. Interest, grants, these are included in capital account. All transactions under capital account is concerned with financial transfers, and to a large extent is the consequences on current account. Okay. So another concept which you have to remember, students, that is errors and omissions. In Hindi it is called भूल चूक खाता. बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं, बहुत सारे ट्रांजेक्शन्स ऐसे होते हैं जो बीओपी में नहीं आते, उनको यहाँ पे रखते हैं. Errors and omissions constitute the third element in the BOP apart from the current and capital accounts, which is the balancing item reflecting our inability to record all international transactions accurately. Okay. Now we'll move quite comprehensive approach in a larger manner. Overall balance of payments, we'll see total of a country's current account and capital account. We are summarizing here the both current account and capital account. Total of a country's current account and capital account is reflected in overall balance of payments. It is always in balance because the deficit or surplus of current account is offset by capital account, and that of capital account is offset by current account. Already we have discussed about this phenomenon in balance of payment. Now it is very important, students, please clear in your mind the concept of balance of payment in operational sense and in accounting sense. So in this accounting aspect, balance of payment always balance. It is like a statement of accounts based on double entry system wherein receipts are equally balanced with payments. But in its operational sense, balance of payments accounts of a national may reveal net surplus or net deficit. Net surplus would mean net of financial claims against rest of the, मतलब आपका कुछ बनता है दुनिया के लोगों से, आपको कुछ लेना है. But while you are discussing about the net deficit, it means you are in a situation where your net financial liabilities against the rest of the world. You have to pay something to the rest of the world. For example, a deficit in a balance of payments current account is often balanced through a surplus in balance of payments capital account. Here we are discussing payments capital account, and the surplus is often achieved through loans from rest of the world, which is a liability to rest of the world. Okay. So students, I hope you have clarity now in regarding the difference between balance of payment in operational aspect and accounting aspect. Autonomous and accommodating transactions or items, you should always remember, student, this is very important question. Again, as you studied about the BOT and BOP, difference between BOT and BOP, it is also many times asked by CBSE, frequently asked by CBSE under 3-mark question. What is difference between autonomous and accommodating transactions? So students, be careful. Try to make your own concept by your own method. International economic transactions are called autonomous. Whatever transactions internationally take place, it is called autonomous. When transactions are made independently of the state of the BOP for profit motive. दुनिया में जो कुछ भी लेन देन होते हैं बिना लाभ के होते ही नहीं. मुफ्त में कोई काम करता ही नहीं है, लाभ के लिए होते हैं. That called the autonomous process, autonomous transactions. Okay, no doubt about it, about the autonomous transactions, autonomous items. Now balance of payments is said to be in surplus if autonomous receipts are greater than autonomous payments, and vice versa also. No problem in this. But what is accommodating items? On the other hand, it determined by the net consequences of the autonomous items, that is whether the BOP is in surplus or deficit. The official reserve transactions are seen as the accommodating item in the BOP. Okay. Now students will discuss about the disequilibrium in BOP. If disequilibrium happens in BOP, what may be the causes behind it? There are three main causes: economic factor, social factor and political factor. You can remember easily by categorizing under the causes under the economic factor, social factor and political factor. Number one, inflation. Due to inflation, BOP disturbance you can see. Due to expenditure on developing relations, sometimes your country spending much money on developing new relations, new diplomatic relations. Number three, changes in foreign exchange rates. It also make a huge impact on your BOP, because we will discuss in detail about the foreign exchange rate in next chapter, so we will understand. Fall in demand also emerge the disturbance in BOP. Business cycle, as usual, business cycle ups and downs also creates deficit in BOP or problem in BOP. Import of services, many times we require to import the services. It also make a negative impact on BOP. Population explosion, it already regarding the population explosion, we have alarming situation. Okay, so we have to control our population to support our BOP. Okay, to mitigate the disturbance or deficit in BOP. So it is a big cause. Now under the category 2, social factor. What are the social factor? Also demonstration effect on imports. समटाइम्स स्टूडेंट्स, तो आपको पता होगा बहुत सारे लोग ब्रांड की चीज़ें खरीदते हैं. ब्रांड, पड़ोसी ने ये पहना, दोस्त ने ये पहना, पड़ोसी के यहाँ ये लगा, ये आया, वो आया, तो इस वजह से बेवजह चीज़ें खरीदी जाती हैं, इंपोर्ट की जाती हैं अब्रॉड से, जिसके कारण आपका BOP डेफिसिट में होता है. चेंज इन टेस्ट. अभी तक आप देसी चीज़ों को खाते पीते थे, अब आप मल्टीनेशनल कंपनीज की चीज़ों की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं. बड़े बड़े मॉल में जाते हैं, बड़ी बड़ी चीज़ें खाते हैं, बड़ी बड़ी चीज़ों को पहनते हैं, खरीदते हैं, चाहे EMI देख के खरीदना पड़े. तो दैट विल ultimately adversely affect your BOP. These are the social causes. Change in preferences, change in fashion also. I hope you all are able to understand the causes behind the disturbance in BOP. Now very important third factor, that is the political factor. Political instability and full of tension, sometimes massacre and riots you can say in your system, that also ultimately adversely affect your BOP. Okay, so students, these are the probable causes behind the disturbance or deficit in BOP and effects of disequilibrium in BOP. What may be the effect of if your BOP in disequilibrium, what may be the effect, probable effect on your economy? Number one, it lowers the economic credibility of a country. ऐसे देश की साख कमजोर हो जाएगी, कहीं भी आपकी बात कम सुनी जाएगी, कहीं भी आपको किसी भी देश से, किसी भी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से लोन मिलने में कठिनाई होगी, आपकी चीज़ों को तवज्जो तरजीह नहीं दी जाएगी. Number two is it hampers economic development of country. Definitely it will hamper it adversely affect your development. And third, it reduce foreign exchange reserve. Definitely if you are in deficit, your foreign exchange reserve, the amount of foreign currency will be decreased automatically. It leads to exploitation of countries as foreign dependence sometimes assume the form of political dependence. जब आप ऐसी स्थिति में होंगे, घाटे का बीओपी होगा, ज़्यादा लोन लेंगे, ज़्यादा उधार लेंगे इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से, तो आपको कभी कभी क्या होता है, दूसरों की बात माननी पड़ती है. अमेरिका, रूस, चाइना या कोई बड़ा देश, या जैसे पाकिस्तान है, पाकिस्तान को तो जो उसको फंडिंग करता है, अगर वो कहता है कि भाई आप ऐसे ऐसे करो तो करना ही पड़ेगा. या इंडिया को ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है इंडिया में, लेकिन इंडिया को भी अगर कोई फंडिंग करे और कहे, या आपके अपने आस पड़ोस समाज में देखिए, अगर कोई फंडिंग करेगा कहेगा तो करना ही पड़ेगा. दैट विल बिकम योर weakness. Now, next that is about the questions. Okay, here effect of disequilibrium in BOP on economy we have discussed in detail. And now, what are the questions may come in your few questions here written, which may come in your exam already asked by CBSE. These are not simple question. It has been asked by CBSE many times. What is mean by balance of payment under 1 mark question? Name the items included in BOT account. When there is a deficit in BOT account, give 2 examples of visible items of BOP. What do you mean by autonomous? All these things we have discussed in detail. No single question here remains which you can't answer. Okay, under 3 mark question and 4 mark question, all nothing new here in question part. So students, please study it. Some numericals also given. When you have items, you have the knowledge of formula, information of formula. You can find out the numerical also. Numerical यहाँ से कम आते हैं, but आपका concept clear होना चाहिए numerical को लेके. Okay. Again another numerical, and with this chapter is ended.